Hey, sixth grade, this is lesson 7, day 3. So yesterday we were showing you how you can take a whole number and divide it by a fraction. Today we're going to show you how you can take a fraction and divide it by a fraction. So we're going to start out with two strategies on this page, the picture it and the model it strategies. So remember, if you don't have your book open to page 62 now, pause the video, get it open to 62, and then restart the video. But if you're ready, let's get started. Let's read the problem. It says, read the problem below, then explore how to divide a fraction by a fraction. So here's what it says. Eli ran 3/4 of a mile. Every eighth of a mile, he jumped over a hurdle. There was a final hurdle at the 3/4 mile mark. How many hurdles did Eli jump over? So let's break this down. It says Eli ran 3/4 of a mile. That's the total that he ran, right? And every eighth mile, 1/8 of a mile, he jumped. So every 1/8 of a mile, he jumped over a hurdle. There was a final hurdle at the 3/4 mile mark. So that just means he finished at the 3/4 mile mark. How many hurdles did Eli jump over? So now, in the picture strategy, and notice I have what the book has whited out. Yes, you can see it in your book, but I want you to see how you would make it. In the first picture it strategy, we are going to show you how to draw a picture of a number line to understand the problem. So this says the top number line shows the distance Eli ran 3/4 of a mile. So I'm going to draw that here. I'm going to draw a number line. And I'm going to split it into fourths. So here's 1/4. Here's 2/4. Here's 3/4. And here would be a mile. So if that's 4/4 or a mile, but we don't need to go there. Let me actually clean that up a little bit. Give me a second. Let me make it a little bit prettier because I didn't make it look as nice as it looks in the book. So we'll make this go a little bit longer. And that will be our 4/4. And you know 4/4 is 1 whole mile. All right, so now the bottom number line shows the number of 1/8 that are in 3/4. So I'm going to draw a second number line the same length. And it's going to be the same marks here. So this is going to be 1 mile again. But this time we're going to split them into 8 sections instead of 4 sections. So I'm going to start by splitting it into fourths, and I'm going to split each one of those in half. And now we have eighths. Now the question says the bottom number line shows the number of 1/8 that are in 3/4. So if you think of it, if I were to count all the 1/8 that are in the 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So that's basically how they use the picture it strategy there. Now I'm going to erase my slop so you can see how the books was a lot nicer. All right. Now, the model it strategy says you can use words and equations to understand the problem. So remember, we want to know how many 1/8 are in 3/4. So this says use division to figure out how many 1/8 are in 3/4. So what we do here is we start with 3/4. And you're dividing it into 1/8. Because you want to know how many 1/8 are in 3/4. And then that will equal the number of hurdles, right? So that's going to give us our equation. 3/4 divided by 1/8 equals question mark, the number of hurdles. So now that's the division problem we'll have to solve. How many 1/8 are in 3/4? 3/4 divided by 1/8. Okay, so we have two strategies, the double number line and writing an equation. So now remember, we're going to go on to the next page, and you're going to use these pictures to answer some questions. So let's start with the connector here. It says, now you will solve the problems from the previous page using the picture and the model. All right, so here is what I want you to do. I want you to pause the video, and you are going to solve 9 through 14 on your own while the video is paused, using the pictures on the page to your left. So as soon as you're done with 9 through 14, you're going to restart the video and watch. Remember, if you're not sure, no big deal, give it your best shot. If you're wrong, so what? That's what erasers are for. But I want you to try your best. All right, pause the video. Do those 6 problems now. Restart it when you're done. Go. All right, so now you should have 9 through 14 done, and I am going to go over the answers now. Remember, if you have anything wrong, just fix it. No biggie. So 9 says, look at picture it. Why is the top number line divided into fourths? Why is the bottom number line divided into eighths? So you don't have to have my exact words. So let's talk about why the top number line is divided into fourths. So the top number line is divided into fourths because Eli ran 3/4 of a mile. So I'm going to say the top number line shows that Eli ran 3/4 of a mile. So that's why you divided it into fourths. Now, why is the bottom number line divided into eighths? Is because every eighth he hit a hurdle. So the bottom number line it shows that Eli jumped over a hurdle every eighth of a mile. So I want you to think of it here. I'm going to get the red on. So imagine this is the 3/4, this red line, 3/4 that he ran. So every eighth of a mile, he jumped over a hurdle. So think of each of these marks like a hurdle. Here he jumped a hurdle, jumped another hurdle, jumped another hurdle, jumped another hurdle, jumped another hurdle. And they said at the 3/4 mark, he jumped his last hurdle. So every eighth is a hurdle. That's all you're doing there. Okay, so now the question says, I'm going to erase my red. Explain how picture it helps you figure out how many hurdles Eli jumped over. And remember, you do not need to have my exact words. But for me, the picture it shows me, with especially the number line, it shows me where everywhere, it helps me see wherever Eli jumped over a hurdle. Because just like I just circled those little marks. So the picture it helps me see how many, instead of saying how many hurdles, I'm going to say how many 1/8 are in 3/4. Now, how many hurdles did Eli jump over? Well, the answer is going to be 6, because remember, every time he went 1/8 of a mile, he jumped over a hurdle. So he's going 1/8, jumps a hurdle, there's 1. Goes another eighth, jumps over a hurdle, there's 2. Goes another eighth, there's 3. Goes another eighth, there's 4. Goes another eighth, there's 5. And that last hurdle was at the 3/4 marks. So that's how it helps you answer those questions. So if you had 11 right, give yourself a C. And remember 9 and 10. That's your answer, how it helped you. So you don't have to change it to my answer. So let's talk about 12, 13, and 14. So in 12, it says, look at model it, explain how to use multiplication to find 3/4 of 1/8. Now, I don't need to look at the model it for this, but to use multiplication, remember, to divide by a fraction, you multiply by its reciprocal. So I'm just going to say, exactly what I said. To divide by a fraction, just multiply by its reciprocal. So 3/4 divided by 1/8 becomes 3/4 times 8/1. That's how you use multiplication to divide by a fraction. Now, 13 says, evaluate 3/4 divided by 1/8. Show your work. So I'm going to solve that multiplication problem. So I have 3/4 times 8/1, and that equals 24/4, because I multiplied 3 times 8 to get 24, and 4 times 1 to get 4. Now, to solve that, I just do 24 divided by 4. And 24 divided by 4 is 6. The same answer I got, by the way, in red for number 11. Okay, and 14 says, explain how to divide a fraction by a fraction. Well, this answer is going to be pretty much what I wrote in number 12. So I'm going to say that again. To divide by any fraction, just multiply by its reciprocal. That's it. Easy, right? I hope. Okay, so now let's talk about 15 and 16. So here is what we're going to do. You're going to be trying these problems on your own. They're division problems probably, or multiplication. I don't know. You'll have to read them and find out. So you give it your best shot, and then you unpause the video, and then you start it. But I don't want you to do them both all at once. So I want you to start by pausing the video, do number 15. As soon as you're done with 15, restart the video to see if you were right. So show your work on a separate sheet of paper. You can do that, or you can show it on the bottom of this page in your book. All right, so do 15. Restart the video when you're done. Go. So 15 says, Keisha cuts a 2/3 foot rope into 1/12 foot pieces. How many pieces of rope did she cut? Okay, so one of the trickier things is trying to figure out which fraction comes first in division. So basically, the thing that she is cutting is going to go first. And she is going to either be splitting it into a number of pieces or pieces that are a certain length. So we want to think of that. But the thing that you are splitting comes first. So it says Keisha cuts a 2/3 foot rope. So the 2/3 foot rope comes first in this one. And she is splitting it into 1/12 foot pieces. So in other words, how many 1/12ths can you get out of 2/3? So how many pieces of rope did she cut? Well, I'm going to show you that here. So remember, to divide by a fraction, you multiply by its reciprocal. And to find the reciprocal, you just flip it to 12/1. So when I solve that, 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So the question says, how many pieces of rope did she cut? The answer is 8 pieces. All right, if you had that right for number 15, give yourself a C. You're doing great. If you had it wrong, I want you to fix it. Don't just change your answer. Make sure you fix it and learn from it. Because now you're going to try 16. So pause the video, do 16 on your own. Restart the video when you're done. Go. All right, so let's see how you did. And let me change colors here. I'm in the mood for some blue. So it says, Jade makes half a liter of lemonade. She pours 1/10 liter of lemonade into each glass. How many glasses is Jade able to fill? So when it says she makes half a liter, that's the fraction 1/2. So she's taken her half liter of lemonade and she's splitting it or dividing it into 1/10 liter servings that go into each glass. So when it says how many glasses is Jade able to fill, you basically want to find out how many 1/10ths are there in 1/2. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to a multiplication problem. 1/2 times 10/1. All I did is flip the 1/10 to 10/1. And I'm going to solve. 1 times 10 is 10. 2 times 1 is 2. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. So how many glasses is Jade able to fill? She is able to fill 5 glasses. That's the answer to 16. All right, so if you need time to go back and fix anything, remember you can pause the video, make any corrections, you can rewind it, watch something again, no big deal. But you're done with me, and as always, thank you for watching.